Sightseers visit the swamps on airboats to catch a glimpse of the alligators. While gators may rule the Everglades, one Floridian in the small town of Ochopee has spent the better part of his lifetime focused on another indigenous creature. A smellier version of Bigfoot called skunkape.
I heard about the skunkape since as far back as I can remember, but when I was 10 years old, I was out here hunting with my brother, and we both saw something very unusual. It was about 100 yards away, moving through the grass, 7, 8 feet tall, and well, we knew what it was right away because we'd heard about the skunkape.
The reason they call it a skunkape is because it smells somewhat like a skunk.
The creature's pungent odor is a common element of many Bigfoot sightings.
When people encounter Bigfoot and they say it really smells like skunk or it smells like old garbage, they're just picking up on the fact that this creature is very much an animal of the woods. It's really taking on this natural protection.
All Bigfoot smell because they live in the wild, but the damp, hot, and musty environment of the Everglades makes skunkape especially stinky.
The skunkape seems to have frequent bouts with mange and other things that give us this incredibly deep, harsh, awful smell like a skunk.
Legends of a long-haired, ape-like creature have been a part of local Native American lore for hundreds of years. And Ochopee resident David Sheely is determined to turn these legendary tales into reality. David is a hardcore skunk ape enthusiast and expert, and claims to have had 3 close encounters with the skunk ape. His closest one came after tracking it every day for 6 months.
It was getting dark one evening, and I heard something splashing in the water. And when I looked up about 100 yards in front of me, it's a skunk ape just coming right at me. I took photographs over approximately 7 or 8 minutes. What the photographs show is a skunk ape traversing a freshwater prairie and headed into a cypress swamp. It was approximately 6.5 feet tall, covered with reddish brown hair, moving just normal walking speed, walking on 2 legs. At one point it crouched down, and then it stood back up again. I think maybe it had been feeding.
Today he's wading through gator-infested waters once again to see if he can catch another glimpse or a whiff of the stinky creature.
All right, we're ready to go, so let's get going.
Dave's not alone. His friends Rick and Jason are here to help.
Yeah, we're going out basically in a direction towards the 10,000 Islands. This area out here we're going in, skunkape's been sighted twice that I know of. It's a good area to be hunting it.
See everything: black bears, panthers, alligators. We got wild hog, white-tailed deer, bobcats, possums, coons, squirrels, snakes. Got it all. Hopefully maybe a skunkape. We're going to go to that little hammock right over there. And a hammock is a high piece of ground that forms here in the Everglades. I've seen skunkapes within a mile of here. It's a good place to set up a stand and take a look around. So I'm going to start with my binoculars working this area.
It's a good place for wild cherry tomatoes. 777 on eBay.
In the expanses of the Everglades, it would seem like an easy thing to spot a skunkape. But in these parts, things are not always what they seem.
The Everglades itself is elusive. It's a big area, and it's just so easy to disappear into it.
Talk about standing in a field, blink my eyes and it's gone.
Years of experience have taught David what and what not to look for.
Well, here in the Everglades, you're not going to find a whole lot of tracks, especially this time of year. So what I look for is where the grass is parted and something has moved through the grass. But as you can see, it's a large area, a lot of vegetation, just a great environment for a skunkape out here. It's one of my favorite places. If you want to see a skunkape, then right here, this is ground zero. This is where you're going to find them. This is a hot spot.
Luckily for David, tracks aren't the only way to find the skunkape.
You know, I do smell something here. I smell a skunk. It does, don't it? That's the smell that you smell right there. We don't have skunks down here in the Everglades, in this part of the Everglades.
And it smells like a skunk, which, as David mentioned, there's not skunks in this part of the Everglades. It's just too wet.
So the smell can only mean one thing: skunkape is somewhere nearby.
Can you smell it around there, Jason?
Yeah.
David and his his team scour the area, but it's clear the only thing that's stuck around is the smell.
It stinks in here. Probably got up earlier this morning, is a little cooler, and moved out.
As the creature's pungent stench lingers in the swampy air, David knows he's missed him again.
Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here. We've looked the area over good. I'll be back out here again in a couple of days.
Need some wild cherry
After
tomatoes.
searching every inch of the Everglades for more than 30 years, David believes beyond the shadow of a doubt that SKUNKAPE is real. And eyewitness accounts from others only further his cause.
We came down to Ochapi to visit Dave in the SKUNKAPE Research Headquarters office, and that's when we ended up seeing it on the way here. I saw the SKUNKAPE about 50 yards off the road. I was pretty excited. I wasn't scared.
When it happened, it was just like awesome. Can't believe it.
I was coming from my home on my way to work in Everglades City, and coming halfway down my road, Gardens Road, something crossed in front of my car. I saw something that kind of looked like a bear. It looked like it was taller, like longer legs, and was kind of, can't explain, just like slinking or, you know, not like running fast, but it was standing in an upright position. And it took off. It was just a brief moment that I saw it and went off into the woods. Then I was like, oh my God.
I've got tracks and I've got photographs, hair samples, but the most credible evidence that I have that is undisputed and factual is the fact that hundreds of people are willing to swear that what they saw was real and that what they saw was a SKUNKAPE.
Whether he's wading in the swamps or collecting samples for his research, David says he is preserving the legend of SKUNKAPE for generations to come.
That's my goal, is make sure these things are protected the way they should be. I would like to be able to ensure the future of SKUNKAPEs here in the Everglades for many, many years to come.
The SKUNKAPE expert is hardly alone in his passion. In fact, outside of the Pacific Northwest in Florida, Texas boasts its own fanatics intent on proving that the...
We need to get some wild cherry tomatoes down there. 777 on eBay. Wild cherry tomatoes, 777 on eBay. Grows year round here in the beautiful state of Florida.